Good morning and welcome to the channel. My name is Benzo and I like to go gold prospecting every chance I get. I do a few other things from time to time on this channel, but it's mostly about gold. Today we're down on the creek. It's up quite a bit. We had some good rain. We want to here talk about this Double Deuce. Spike Strikes Prospecting makes this Double Deuce. This is the double strike slab with a gate cut into it, mounted onto another double strike slab, and it's a classifying sluice box. This is my favorite sluice box to use right now. I have made a lot of modifications to it over a year and a half, and I have really beat this thing hard. Up to 10 times a month I use it every month, and I've really put it through, and it's still just as strong as they come. So let's take a closer look at some of these things I've done to it, and then we'll look at the setup and the run and the clean out. But all I really have today is basic pan, a snuffer, a washout tub, weighs about a pound, the Double Deuce, and the shovel. And I carry my deuce and my shovel at the same time, and this might be 10 pounds, maybe, with the shovel. So, and then you can use that to clear out the spider webs along the way. As in for modifications, mostly I've just added extra anchor bolts. I got 6 now to stop a little rock gets in there, then slightly bigger, and it'll bend the wire throughout the day if you're running this thing 10 or even more hours in a day. You can see an extra hole drilled here. That's, and on the side here, that's if there's not enough water, I can take it apart, move the wings down, move a crossbar down, and I have just a regular sluice box so I can classify and run. I've added a extra set of studs, so I have 6 studs just for extra rigidity, because I am rough on everything and I want this thing to be solid when I haul it through the woods. So let's look at the initial setup. For a year I used to take these flaps apart, flip them inside, and close them up on every trip. I haven't taken them from this position in about a half a year. They're strong. I don't even worry about it. You can do that if you like. But you can see through here, it's got a nice good run. But what you want to make sure is that this is running level and it runs flared all the way down, that the back end is a little more open than the front. It doesn't have to be drastic. Another great feature about this is that you can adjust these levels by manipulating these bolts on this side and closing it down. And you can close it down if it's 2 fingers, that's a pretty low flow, and you can go all the way up to about 4 fingers on this, and that would be extremely high flow. I usually keep it set in the middle, so that way it's close to wherever it needs to be no matter what. You need good water and a little bit of drop to run this. My water's looking really good, a little bit up. I want to pick this area here because it has a little bit more flow than over there. Decent drop. And so I'm going to set the camera up on the side and do the setup. Shouldn't take long. I'm going to have to move a little bit of this big rock here to get the drop I need and find the right size stones. But it shouldn't take just a few minutes to set it up right in there. So let's see what happens. Alright, next I'm going to go grab my shovel. We're going to throw a little material on here, and it's going to show us how level it is so we can finish the setup. Got our material in there. So what I like to do is check the front, make sure I don't have a big gap underneath the sluice, letting water go underneath. Let that run for a second. See how it's set up. And it's just slightly tilted so way. So I'm going to find a good rock and adjust it. After it's stable and set up and running good, I like to start off with running the material from the tailings to give a large volume area to run the tailings, and from the front too, to have a large volume of water in front of it that's being compacted, have plenty of flow. But flow isn't a problem today, but got so much pool, I want to remove some of these rocks from the front so they don't pool in. Getting these size shaped rocks right now, and they're square. Well, that's it. That's the complete setup. It's ready to go, and there's already been quite a bit of material run through the machine. I guarantee you there's some gold in it right now. So you can run these machines for quite some time. Gotta make sure the tailings stay clear. Nothing gets sucked into the front, especially if there's a bunch of leaves and debris in the water. That's the same for any type of sluice box like this. It's drawing in debris or material. But that's only a couple times a year you really have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shovel. I usually run 45 minutes to an hour, because I like to have a lot of cons. And you won't have a lot of cons with this machine unless you clean it out often, because it just doesn't save any. It holds the gold. As you're running the Double Deuce, you want to keep certain shaped rocks like this. They'll get jammed in here and be sticking up, and they'll catch other rocks. So if you keep this grate clear of snags, things will flow through much easier. and that way it won't be backing up and you won't have to put your hands in it so much. Some days I barely have to touch the thing if the water and slope's just right. It has a lot to do with how much room you have in the background. Don't have a lot of big drop fallout back there today, so there's a lot of cleaning out because most of the rocks I'm coming up with are this size. And although they will zip right through that machine, they land back there and don't go very far. That one rolled once and stopped. And then the sediment builds in around it, and that's how it goes. So I've only run this about 15 minutes or so, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean it out, show you how I do that. Put the water in your bucket so it don't wash away. Take off your weights. I usually pull a couple things from the side. I also don't clear out from behind it that well when I'm going to clear it out. That way it doesn't create such a big open volume hole where the water races through and it washes out everything I've created to help hold this thing up. I grab it by the crossbars in from the bottom and pull straight up slow. Letting the water slowly hold it level. Right into my bucket. Give it a couple pops. And I'll flush it with my gold pan and water. The recommended instructions are to take this apart every time. But as you can see, I can flush it out pretty quick. Anything that's jammed up, just pop it free. Give it a little shake. Now to make sure you get all the gold, you make sure you run a lot of material. See, I'm not holding it level, I'm holding it sideways, so when the water hits it, everything runs to one side and it runs out. I want to make sure I go up the side here with the water. So everything's washing in from this side, washing out. Now I switch to the other side. Check to make sure there's no obstructions. And usually by the time this bucket's full, it's ready to go. So this is completely cleaned out. I can go ahead and set it back in the hole. Hopefully there wasn't too much shift. I see one rock there in the way. Set it back in, and it's looking good. Now I can clean out from behind it better. Then you can fill this tub up and use it as a panning tub because the concentrates from the Double Deuce are often full of tons of micros. So I recommend that you tote them home every chance you get instead of leaving them out in the field, or you're leaving gold behind. Classify, but you see there's just a few stones that are in there. I can pan this faster since I know I'm saving the concentrates and I'm not going to lose anything. But the Double Deuce is already set up. If you're trying to do a lot of material in a day, you don't even pan this. You just save all the cons and you start running some more. But I want to show y'all that it caught gold and that it caught fine gold. See, I didn't run that long. There's not a ton of black sands in this run. There are some. And boy howdy is there gold. piece of lead. I'll let that roll into the con bucket there. There we go. Washing them blogs away. Get down to the little ironstones and limonites. Alright. Come on. So I can tap out some gold. Oh wow! There's a piece. There's a piece of gold. Alright guys, here's that pan from that short little run. You can see there's a nice flake of gold in there. But look at some of the fines. There are some super micros in there. Hit that button. Alright, this looks really good. That looks fantastic. Yeah, I like it when they're big like that. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and watching how I towed in and set up and run this Double Deuce, how to clean it out, all the troubleshoot problems and things you should look out for. I hope you get one. If you do, tell them Benzo sent you down at Spike Strikes Prospecting Equipment. I'll leave a link in the description to his shop and eBay store. And good luck out there. Hope you get one because it's my favorite piece of equipment, lightweight, and really catches the gold. So, till next time, get in the creek, get that gold.